Another pretty quick gameplay here, but something kind of funny happened yesterday, and I wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about it. I mean, I guess ultimately it turned out to be kind of funny, but as I'm leaving the house yesterday, my wife tells me, "Yeah, you remind me so much of Benjamin Button." And I was walking out the door, so I didn't really think too much of it. And as I was driving, I started thinking, "Yeah, that's pretty nice of her to say." You know, Benjamin Button, if those of you who don't know, it's a movie. It's about a guy who's basically born an older man, and through time he gets younger and younger and younger, and at the end he becomes like an infant, like a baby again. And it's with Brad Pitt. You know, Brad Pitt, obviously a pretty good-looking guy, right? So as I'm driving, I start to get pretty happy in a way. Start to think, you know, gosh, she's pretty much telling me that I'm looking good. You know, I'm looking better and better as time goes on. What a nice thing to say. And as I got to work, I started to think, well, wait a minute. That's not really like her to say something like that. It must be something else. So I quickly tweeted out, hey, if somebody says you're like Benjamin Button, is that an insult or a compliment? And a couple of people came back, well, it could be a compliment, you know. But I know my wife, and she's pretty sneaky with the things she has to say. So I went up calling her, and I said, "Hey, what did you mean by saying I remind you of Benjamin Button?" And she's like, "Well, because you're like a child. Instead of getting older and more mature, you're becoming more and more childlike." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, wouldn't you know?" And I was like, "Man, you know," and then right away, you know, I get really defensive. And just like in sports or in Call of Duty, sometimes the best defense is a really good offense. So right away, I come up with the stupidest comeback and say, "Well, you know what? Hun, I am responsible for the air that you breathe." Because my wife has asthma, right? And I buy her inhalers and stuff. And she's like, "Why is that?" And I'm like, "It's because, you know, I buy your inhalers, and I take care of you, and so and as I'm saying it, I start to kind of laugh because I'm sounding like such an idiot. But anyway, the short story of something that happened yesterday. This has been Serious Drama. Be kind, be good, be safe.